All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the protection mechanisms we can put in place using encryption. Let's assume that you have something like a mobile device or a laptop or some other computer system that you are accessing some content on a web application. So this could be the web app, and it could be a website or some portal. Doesn't really matter too much. The point being that let's say that this web app is some type of service that contains some level of sensitive information. So when you're transmitting to that web application from your mobile device or from your laptop or whatever the device is, you want to ensure that you are using TLS, which most commonly when you're looking at request responses with HTTPS. And this is going to ensure that the data is encrypted in transit. So when we talk about data in transit, we're often talking about TLS as it relates to ensuring that traffic is encrypted. With regards to web applications or a web request and response, that means HTTP. We're really concerned about the HTTPS in that case, and that provides us, again, that encryption in transit. So let's assume here that your web application that is maybe talking to third parties, or maybe this is again going over some network to a third party. You want to ensure that traffic is also encrypted using TLS. You might also have a VPN service depending on the relationship between the two parties here. Assuming that this is a third party server that you may be accessing. When you have data that sits in a database, you want to ensure that data is encrypted as well, meaning we're securing that data at rest. So when we provide encryption for data that sits in a database or a file system or on the web application itself, we're providing encryption for data at rest. And we do this through symmetric key encryption typically, which basically allows for encrypting of large amounts of data. Additionally, in some cases, not every case, but in some cases, you're going to want to use a hardware security module. And that hardware security module provides a little bit additional level of security. And what that means is that this encryption key that is used to encrypt data at rest is stored in a vault, essentially. And that vault has a higher level of security on it, meaning that the application itself may not be able to directly access that key. Now, in the vast majority of cases, what happens is that you would actually send the data to the HSM. The HSM decrypts it and sends it back to you, again, utilizing TLS or some other level of transmit security. But the idea here is that key does not leave that HSM. You want to ensure that key is maintained in this hardware security module where it's better protected as opposed to sitting, like, let's say, on the server itself or even in a separate database for encrypting, or even a configuration file or something like that. The goal here is, again, ensuring that encryption key stays in a location that is more secure, has better controls over it, so that key remains encrypted and well secured. Now we talked about security at rest, we talked about security in transit. The other option here is security in use, or encryption of data in use. And that occurs actually at the memory level, where as data, as it transits the network and goes to where it's being processed, before it actually goes to a final resting place in like a database or some other location, it's actually being processed by that application. And to ensure that we have some type of protection around that data that's in use, there are memory-related encryption that you can include in your application, actually on the server level. And additionally, there's other types of memory, like no execution areas of memory, different ways of ensuring that address layout randomization, different options that you can apply to ensure that that data in use is also protected as well.